Howdy doody, this is Jed McCabe of www.bodybuildingalert.com. Welcome to this short video presentation called How to Gain Weight Naturally and Fast. Now this presentation assumes that you want to gain muscular body weight and not just fat. So with that in mind, here's a simple 3-point plan that will enable you to pack on size fast without spending all your waking hours in the gym or wasting your hard-earned cash on expensive muscle building supplements that won't help you. Also without using dangerous bodybuilding steroids. Now in this plan, the total training time is under 3 hours a week, so it's a very short duration. That means that you can reclaim part of your life and you don't need to spend all your time slaving away in the gym to no effect. Not only that, you don't need to eat anything other than natural foods. Now the three components are firstly a well-designed muscle building routine, secondly a sensible diet, and third rest and recovery. So let's now go into this in a wee bit more detail. Firstly, your bodybuilding routine. Now if you just eat more food than you burn off, any weight you do gain will be fat. You'll just be storing excess calories around your middle. You must give your muscles a reason to grow. And what that means is a sensibly planned muscle building routine. But even more important than designing it is applying it. You need to act. If you don't take action, nothing is going to happen. Now if you train more than 3 times a week, you'll greatly limit your chances of building muscle. In an ideal world, I suggest 2 weight sessions a week with no more than an hour's duration for each session. Throw in a small amount of cardio work, because the most important muscle in your body is your heart. I know it's an old cliche, but it's true. And also to help you control your fat levels. So we're talking no more than 3 hours a week total. Now these bodybuilding routines should be based around major compound movements like the deadlift, the squat or the bench press. The reason for that is twofold. Firstly, the major compound movements train several muscle groups at once, which means it's more efficient training this way than to do isolation movements which stress one muscle group at a time. So for example, if you did bicep curls and then tricep push downs, then lateral raises, leg extensions, etc., etc., you can train all your muscle groups as individual muscles, but this takes 10 times longer. You don't get the same bodybuilding effect anyway as you would if you train just say deadlift or squat or bench press. You can train most of your muscle groups in those 3 movements alone, so it's a lot more efficient and much quicker. So now let's take a quick look at diet. Now your diet to gain muscle, first thing to say is doing the work in the gym is the hard yards. But if you don't eat enough food and enough of the right food, then you'll have wasted your time and your efforts will have been in vain. The way I'm suggesting you train, it does get bloody hard work when you get to the top poundages. And it can even be in the situation where you're actually dreading your upcoming workout. So there are sacrifices that you need to make. With that in mind, why would you waste your time training hard, balls to the wall, and then have it come to nothing because you're not eating properly? Now the first thing you need to do is to work out what your maintenance calorie intake is. This is the amount of food that you take in where your body weight neither goes up or down, and that's your starting point. The second thing you need to know is what your body mass index is. That's the fat percentage that you have. Now the reason for this is it's a jumping off point. The first thing you need to do is eat normally for say 2 weeks. And at the end of that time, you should find that your body mass index is exactly the same and your weight is exactly the same. You need to measure calories during this time, and that also includes the amount of protein, carbohydrate and fat. If you get a decent calorie count, you'll find this isn't that difficult to do. You only need to do it for a fortnight, and after that you can actually track these things pretty much by looking at the food on the plate. But you need to know what your maintenance calorie level is to start with. Now once you've got that, and also your body fat percentage, you need to add 200 calories a day to your maintenance calorie intake and see what happens to your weight and also to your BMI. What you're looking for, of course, is to gain muscular body weight and not just fat. Now if you're not gaining any weight, you need to add another 200 calories a day to that and then test again. Eventually you'll be gaining weight, and there's no other way that can happen. If you're eating more and more food, eventually you'll have to gain weight, and if you're exercising hard, you should be gaining mostly muscle, and to a lesser extent some fat, but it should mostly be muscle. And as I say, you need to track your BMI at the same time for exactly that reason. If you find that your fat percentage is going up, it means you need to take more exercise, and if nothing is happening, you need to eat more food. Pretty simple when you think about it. Now, as a side issue, you could also use this method to lose weight, and here you'll be simply cutting calories from your maintenance calorie intake. So you'll most likely find that unless you've got amazing genetics, when you're training with weights to build muscle, you will build muscle, but also you'll add some fat to your body as well. Unfortunately, that's inevitable, but as long as you're gaining more muscle than fat, don't stress overly about this. At the end of your weight training cycle, what you might do is try and cut some of the fat from your body while maintaining the muscle that you build. And the way you would do that is to, again, know your maintenance level and just cut 200 calories a day off that. If you cut more than that, then you'll probably strip muscle off as well as fat. Final point on this is you need to remember that as you get bigger, your maintenance calorie intake will increase because you're maintaining a bigger and more muscular body. Let's quickly now have a look at rest and recovery. Now, as with diet, if you don't rest properly after working out, you're going to severely limit how much muscle you can add to your body. Your body needs to be fully recovered from the previous workout before you train again. In an ideal world, you'll aim for 8 hours sleep a night. You won't always hit that target, but at least you should be aiming for it. Now, a quick tip here is try avoiding watching or reading any stressful things just before you go to bed. If you're in a very emotional state before you turn in, this will limit your ability to sleep. Another quick tip is to take a shower before you turn in, and something I found that really works is to drink cherry juice. You only need a couple of tablespoons mixed up in water or milk. You can buy this stuff from Holland & Barrett. It's very reasonably priced. Cherry juice has a load of other health benefits too. It's high in antioxidants. It can help you sleep better, and it even helps muscle soreness from training. Now, this is probably a no-brainer, but just in case it needs saying, and if you're up half the night partying, it will be very hard to gain muscle. You have to decide how much you want this. Sacrifices do have to be made. And it's also a myth that you can catch up on sleep. So if you take, say, 5 hours sleep a night during the week, which is woefully inadequate, you're going to find it's very hard to catch up on sleep by then sleeping the entire weekend. You need to sleep regularly and enough. So finally, if this has been of interest to you and if you'd like to learn more, unfortunately I don't have the space to go into more detail here. But for more info on this, on how to gain weight and how to plan your own bodybuilding routines out, there's a free 70-minute video presentation called Bodybuilding Basics. And to download it instantly, if you go now to www.bodyweight.mp4, you can download that now, and you'll learn exactly how to plan your own bodybuilding routines. You'll get some excellent tips and tricks on the exercises that you need to do for maximum success, and also the ones to avoid, partly because they're dangerous and partly because they don't really build that much muscle. You'll also learn how to do the right exercises in the right way to get the maximum muscle building effect without screwing up your joints in the process. Finally, just a quick note, it really is possible to transform your body in only a few short months. So that in a few short months you'll be looking at a totally different reflection in the mirror staring back at you. And you can do this without slaving away in the gym all your waking life. You can do it by eating natural foods without using any expensive bodybuilding supplements or taking steroids if you know what you're doing. So go now to bodybuildingalert.com, download the free video report and take charge of your body. So finally, whatever you decide to do, this is Jed McCabe of www.bodybuildingalert.com, and whatever you decide to do, I wish you luck. Cheers.